Hi, Shalom friends. You know, there are certain words in Hebrew that have made it big. And one of the words that has seemed to become part of the English language, certainly the English slang, is the word kosher. So if a person is doing a business deal and he's cutting corners, someone might say, you know, this deal is not kosher. Or someone looking at evidence and might feel that the evidence is something is not right. It's just not kosher. Of course, the word kosher is actually a Hebrew term, refers primarily to the dietary laws, though it's not limited to dietary laws. It also refers to ritual objects. So we could have a kosher scroll of law, a Sefer Torah. We could have an unkosher if it's missing words and so on. Still, the word kosher itself means appropriate or suitable, excuse me, or fitting. So if a person says that this business deal is not kosher, though from a legal perspective it's an inappropriate word, but for the usage of it, we would understand what we're saying. So let me share with you a story about three holy tzaddikim who meet, and after embracing and finding out how each one is doing, they sit down and they farbring. And they spend hours discussing words of Torah and inspiration. Very, very, very late in the afternoon, these three holy tzaddikim realize that they haven't eaten anything a whole day and they're hungry. So they say to one another, does anyone have any money? And one of them says, I have some coins. I'll go out and buy us something to eat. So the other two say, 1 second. After spending hours discussing Torah, we want to make sure that the money is kosher. So their friend says, it's very kosher. I'll tell you how I got it. 2 nights ago, I was in the midst of study, and around 11:30 at night, a man knocks on my door. He's very distraught. He has a child that has a very high fever. It's already 2 days. The kid is not eating. He's burning up. He's barely taking any liquids. They don't know what to do. They're asking me to pray. I took the name, and I spent the next hour and a half saying psalms on his behalf. The next morning, when I came back from shul, before I got a chance to sit down, I hear a knock on the door. I open up, it's this father, but this time his face is completely different. He's so happy, and he embraces me. He says, Rabbi, holy man, your prayers were very successful. Just about 1 o'clock in the morning, or somewhere around that, his fever broke, and he began to perspire. We began giving him liquids every couple of minutes, and without a doubt, he's going to recover. I am sure God heard your prayers. At the very least, please let me give you some coins. Do with what you want. So he said, it's kosher money. I prayed for a Jew, and God, in his infinite kindness, responded to my prayer. The other two look at him and they say, how do you know that he recovered because of your prayer? Maybe your prayers were helpful, but maybe he was destined to get better at that night. So no, if the coins were given to you in gratitude for having brought salvation to this child, it's not kosher enough for us. The second one says, well, I have some money that's kosher. And they ask him, how did you get this money? And he said, well, actually, yesterday, after study, 2 people came to my room, 2 business people, and they had a very complicated issue to resolve. And they wanted a third opinion from a rabbi how to resolve this issue. And I spent a long time listening to them, thinking about it, looking up some of the sacred literature, and I gave them advice. It seemed to be just what they were looking for. They were so happy that they immediately said, Rabbi, your words are divine. And they gave me some coins. and this is kosher money. And the other two say, true, it's kosher, but how do you know that they wouldn't have thought of this solution on their own? They gave you the coins because you offered them the solution, but maybe they would have come to it on their own. No, the money is not kosher enough for us. Well, the third one said, I guess it's up to me. And they said, do you have kosher money? He says, as a matter of fact, I don't have any money. But what I will do is, I will go out, find a Jewish person, and ask him for a loan. When he gives me the loan, he's doing a commandment. He's doing a mitzvah. He's being kind to a fellow Jew. That mitzvah is certainly wonderful. The money is certainly worthy. So I'll get kosher money. And the other two agreed that the money that you will get as a loan is the most kosher of all money. And that's how the story ends. Of course, for those of us that run organizations and are often in need of loans, sometimes we say we have a very kosher organization because what keeps it going is kosher money. But I'd like to explore this a bit deeper with you. Why is money given as a loan so kosher? What was wrong with the other two forms of money? And obviously, legally, there was nothing wrong with it. But for these saints, they were looking for something even more fitting. Well, we could have a long discussion about money, but there are some very obvious pointers. Number one, the currency is worthless if you can't buy anything with it. So, for example, a person could have a lot of money, but if there's nothing to buy, then what he has is really completely irrelevant. We also know money in itself is not only fluid, but it's flimsy. What happens if the currency is a country that issues currency is taken over by a different country? Sometimes they disqualify all of the previous currency. As a matter of fact, if you're a rich man in Somalia and you're using Somalian currency to try to buy some cigarettes in America, you won't get very far. So money is valuable for what it could buy when you can buy it. In a barter society, it's much more valuable a chicken so you could get gasoline than $100, which you might not get any gasoline. When we think about the money that we work so hard to acquire, what value is it really? The answer is, well, we buy things with it, and many of those things that we buy are very, very important. There's also a fair amount of things that we buy which are very unimportant. They actually just clutter our lives. The highest form of money is a form where the currency that you have brings benefit to someone else. You see, if I, for example, bought myself an ice cream, I might enjoy it. I might actually feel guilty that I bought it because I'm trying to lose weight. I could have, maybe I shouldn't have bought it because I'm going somewhere and now my appetite is ruined. I mean, it's really, the enjoyment of my ice cream is really quite relative to the time and to the place. But if I buy an ice cream for my grandchild, or if you come into my house as a guest and I offer you ice cream and you relish it, you're enjoying it, my enjoyment is actually much greater than if I ate it myself. I have no guilt seeing you have enjoyment. I have no doubts that through me, I brought pleasure to someone else. So the ice cream is a great vehicle in this particular case. The ice cream for me does not do the same that ice cream for you that I offer to you. And the same thing is about just about anything. It's not only ice cream, it could be any object, it could be any item of clothing. When I wear it, unless I know for sure I need it, then I enjoy it. If I don't really need it, because I have 6 sweaters at home, so why did I buy this one? Well, it was a spur of the moment type of thing. My enjoyment might be a little bit limited. But if I buy you a sweater and you thank me, I don't know how many sweaters you have, and frankly, I don't care. I know that you enjoyed this sweater, and for me, that's 100%, 100% good, so to speak. When a person makes money and then uses it and extends it as a loan for someone else. So here's $100, I have it. I could use it for many different things. The highest form of me using it would be for a mitzvah. So if I used it to buy Shabbos food, if I used it to buy mezuzah, if I used it to give as a loan, then the value of this $100 is much, much greater, infinitely greater, than if I were to use this $100 for myself to splurge on myself. Now, I'm not telling you you shouldn't splurge on yourself. I'm merely pointing out that the value that you put into the currency can only truly be appreciated when that currency is being used for something outside of you, something greater than you. So in this particular case, it's a charming story. The rabbi had no money, but he says, I'll get kosher money, because when we're eating, it will be from money that came from someone else's kindness, and in fact, someone else's decency. And that type of money is absolutely kosher, and therefore, consequently, the food and the refreshments that we'll buy from it will be absolutely beneficial. So, my friends, there's all kinds of kosher deals. Make sure you don't break any laws. Make sure we follow the Shulchan Aruch, the code of Jewish law. So our business will prosper in every way. But the highest form of kosher money will be to use it for kosher activities. And there could be nothing more rewarding than gladdening the heart of the orphan and the widow, as well as gladdening the creator of the universe through spending it on a mitzvah. Shalom.